The stands are packed and they're decked in blue. From Frederick Douglass High School in Lexington, Kentucky, it's the first round of the Lexington Regional at the Basketball Tournament 2019. The 4-5 matchup is next, featuring KBC, the Kentucky Basketball Commission, against the Peoria All-Stars. A look at the bracket and a little bit more about the basketball tournament in case you're unfamiliar. TBT is in its 6th season. It is a single elimination, winner-take-all $2 million jackpot of a tournament. 64 teams, 63 games, and we have already begun whittling the field down. In our Lexington Regional, Loyalty is Love and Fort Wayne champs have already moved on. We're still looking for our first upset from Lexington. Maybe it'll come in the 4-5 matchup as Loyalty is Love awaits the winner. Welcome courtside, everybody, alongside Coach Seth Greenberg. My name is Chris Fosters. How about some midsummer madness for you from steaming Lexington, Kentucky? What is it about this tournament that you like so much?
The thing I love the most is every single game is Game 7. And basically, if you don't play hard, if you don't play together, if you don't understand value of the basketball, you're going home with nothing. So you got to draw a line in the sand each and every play. The name on the front, the name on the back mean nothing. Your reputation means nothing. You've got to come to play and come to win. Be a great teammate every play. Take no plays off.
Lexington is a great basketball town, and not just because of the University of Kentucky. If you take a look at this Kentucky Basketball Commission team, they've got a lot of inbred talent from the Bluegrass State.
A lot of players of the year in the state and when they were in high school. But I'll tell you one thing, one guy not a lot of people know about, Nick Mayo. Nick Mayo, the all-time leading scorer at Eastern Kentucky. 6'9", got a chance to see him in the NBA Summer League. He dropped 19 for the Miami Heat that night. He's 6'9", he can run, he can shoot it, he can rebound, initiate your fast break. Nick Mayo, he might not start, but he is really good. And when I look at this Peoria team, think about this. This team is deep and rich. What I mean by that is they're playing for Howard Nathan, the star of the documentary Hoop Dreams. He's in intensive care right now in Peoria. He's played at DePaul, he played with the Hawks, and they're dedicating their play in the TBT to him, and that's, to me, what it's all about. It's about community, it's about shared experience, it's about guys that have a common cause. This Peoria team, as always, will play very hard. Every single guy on this team is a college graduate.
A mishmash of rules, some of them NCAA inspired, others FIBA inspired, like the rule that once the ball strikes the rim, anybody can play the ball. You can play the ball off the cylinder. The Elam ending is the innovative TBT experience. It's how all games end. They turn the game clock off with under 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. We'll be sure to explain that in greater detail when the time becomes appropriate. Here's the tip, and we are underway with KBC in the white jerseys, the Peoria All-Stars in the red. The starting 5 presented by Air Force Reserve. For KBC, their backcourt of A.J. Slaughter and Chris Lofton could be one of the best in the tournament this year. Lofton is a 3-time All-SEC player at Tennessee. And among the starters for the Peoria All-Stars, they don't have the name recognition set that KBC does, but they have a lot of experience playing with each other in the Peoria community. And again, guys like Montel James, Jordan Faison have had good college careers of their own, and they have TBT experience.
Experience, maturity, and toughness. That's what wins in the TBT.
Still looking for our first bucket of the game, and there it is.
That won't be his last.
That is a 2-point shot, by the way.
Slaughter and Lofton, Hickey, all three of those guys can score it, are tough, and have high basketball IQs. This team is very well coached. They've played together a long time.
Ryan Steffen is off the mark. That's Montel James, who misses off the front of the rim, and the rebound goes to Chris Williams. Correction, Anthony Hickey of KBC.
The challenge for KBC is, can they rebound basketball? It's a walk.
Again, KBC, that's the Kentucky Basketball Commission. KBC is a 5-court basketball facility actually located right here in Lexington. So this is one of the hometown teams, a lot of bluegrass flavor on the court. Just about everybody on KBC's roster is either from Lexington or certainly the great state of Kentucky. And KBC Hoops was founded by the general manager of this TBT team, Tom Bauer, and his associate, Julius King. And they've done a lot of work for the community through the game of basketball here in Lexington.
Yeah, it's a really good organization, well respected. There's Wilkerson, played in the G League this past year. Big body, physical, can finish around the basket. This team is fundamentally sound, and it's kind of interesting. They've got a following because of their connection to the community, and because this team has a number of guys that were Mr. Basketball. Chris Lofton, he was a Mr. Basketball. I mean, Nick Mayo, when he comes in the game, he didn't start. I mean, he is a dynamic, skilled offensive player. He scored over 2,300 points in college.
Bryson with a contested look. This Peoria All-Stars team has its highest seed in its 3 years in TBT. They had to win a play-in game just to get into the field of 64 last year, as A.J. Slaughter has 4 quick points for KBC.
Yeah, and Slaughter just has a really good feel for the game. You know, you talk about a kid who played at Western Kentucky, won a lot of games at Western Kentucky. Played with Courtney Lee, NBA player. Played in the Sweet 16. When you talk about Lee and Slaughter, that was a dynamic backcourt. He's played all over the world. You talk about France and Greece and Turkey and Spain. Actually became a Polish citizen in 2015, which is very interesting.
Yeah, played for the Polish national team, as a matter of fact.
So you're going to see more sets run in this game. You're going to see more guys 100% understanding what the other guy does because they've played together before.
Anthony Hickey, nothing but net. Former LSU Tiger and Oklahoma State Cowboy. An outstanding defender, but he makes it happen for KBC on the offensive end there.
And 2011 Mr. Basketball in the state.
A.J. Slaughter blocked by Bryson, who used his length to close the gap, but the ball is kicked to Chris Lofton.
Chris Lofton being very patient to start in this game.
Wilkerson heating up. And a quick timeout called by Willie Williams and the Peoria All-Stars.
You know what you see with this KBC team? You see 5 guys on the court. They can pass it, catch, shoot it.
Discovered.
A.J. Slaughter was a standout at Western Kentucky, and this Kentucky-based KBC squad is off to a roaring start over Peoria in round 1 from Lexington. Single elimination TBT 2019. The winner moves on to the second round tomorrow here at Frederick Douglass High School. And Peoria has got to slow this game down if they want to rein KBC back in.
They've got to defend the three-point line. They did a good job of pressuring the basketball. And then they've got to get something going on the other end right now. You know, look, your offense is connected to defense and vice versa. They've got to try to see what they can do by dealing with the pressure of KBC. KBC, ball pressure buys time, and that's what they're doing. Undersized guards pressuring, pushing Peoria out.
Guard play is the strong suit for KBC. Between A.J. Slaughter and Chris Lofton, you also have Anthony Hickey with the black headband, who racked up a ton of steals over his college career at LSU and Oklahoma State.
And it's so good that all these teams have an identity. A lot of them have a cause of what they're doing. There's Chris Lofton using the shot fake.
Slaughter got it.
Anytime there's penetration, you got 4 guys outside the three-point line, moving to an open area. Slaughter's gotten off to a terrific start, as has KBC. Now they are 3 for 5 from the three-point line.
Well, Jordan Faison on the wing, number 40 in red for Peoria. Could not connect on that lob attempt. Montel James shot one off the side of the backboard. Here's Hickey, who finds the trailing Slaughter. And this is looking all too easy for KBC right now.
Spacing, unselfish, good, solid basketball. Look at the ball pressure. See how active these guys are defensively?
short for Lawrence Alexander, but he's got his own miss, and he throws it away.
Never underestimate the value of ball pressure. Ball pressure buys time. Ball pressure disrupts. Ball pressure lengthens entry passes. And our guy Nick Mayo is entering the game. He will score buckets. He'll score buckets in a lot of different ways.
Listen, I know we're not even halfway through the first quarter yet, but this game feels like it could avalanche on Peoria if they're not careful.
Look at Mayo. Great drive with left hand. Lefty. Yeah, they've got to get a good shot. They've got to find a way. There's a good set of screen. Free someone up. Give them a little space.
Jeffrey White. Short.
This
Put
is the
back
area.
by
They got to
Steffen.
rebound the ball. That's good job by Steffen. He's the Division II Player of the Year. Plays in Japan right now.
Lofton strong. And he gets his own miss.
Play.
There's your boy, Nick Mayo. He's 0 for 2 to start off the bench.
Yeah, good shot, though. Great play by Lofton.
Bryson slashes in, and the scoop is off the heel. Both teams in a little bit of a funk right now out of the first timeout. Slaughter with a difficult step back. He is red hot right now. 13 points for Slaughter. Montel James had an outstanding TBT for Peoria last year. Averaged over 23 points per game over Peoria's 2 contests. They would love for him to get going, or anybody to get going for that matter.
And it really is, partially it's the defense of KBC right now, even in that post-up situation. Really good job of Slaughter staying down, keeping, chesting up, walling up, and taking away any angle. Here's a little elbow action, isolation right here for Wilkerson.
Batted out into the backcourt by Mayo. And TBT's KBC books another 3-pointer. This time, it's Darius Jones-Gibson off the bench. Through the hands of Montel James, and Peoria is just having a hard time getting the ball inside the 3-point arc.
They down the ball screen, really good weak side help right there. But you can see at KBC, basically, this is a basketball facility where they train players. It's a basketball facility where they teach the game, where they take it seriously. And it's also a community-based program where they have, great pass again,
Wilkerson.
Where they're committed to teaching how to play the right way. How about their ball movement? How about their spacing? How about their shot making?
Well, we had a conversation with Tom Bauer, the general manager, before the game, and he was talking about how they had broken down film on the Peoria All-Stars, and that's what you're starting to see tournament-wide, the preparation that goes into this for teams. It's not just a pickup game.
No, this is far from a pickup game, especially for KBC, because this is a group of kids that have known each other. They have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Most of them have been under-recruited, excluding, obviously, say, Lofton. Yet they've been proven they can play at a high level. I mean, Slaughter, he plays on a Sweet 16 team. He played with Courtney Lee, who obviously has had a very, very successful NBA career. Wilkerson has worked his way into really being a very good, productive, winning player. I mean, and they value each other. Like, we haven't seen a bad shot. We haven't seen a selfish play.
Aldonis Foot bangs his way towards the painted area and draws the foul.
You know, Wilkerson played at Marshall and you know, the Conference USA. And one thing about the Marshall players, they're going to be skilled. They're going to be unselfish. They're going to be able to play positionless. That's just the style of play that they've kind of bought into, and he's been very, very good.
Yes, Wilkerson actually overlapped with Hassan Whiteside for a year at Marshall. Foot throws it in to Jeffrey White.
Look where they're running their offense from. Look, see, they're keeping it on the sideline. They're downing it, keeping the ball in front, looking to help by Mayo.
Extra pass made by Faison, but Williams was stuffed by Johnson. And Faison puts it in.
I think it was Slaughter.
Slaughter.
Yeah, Slaughter's been absolutely terrific. He's played at a very high level. He's played in Italy, played in Belgium, France, Greece. Panathinaikos was one of the best teams in Greece.
Slaughter slips through, and the reverse. 17 points for A.J. Slaughter, a one-man wrecking crew.
Peoria's getting slaughtered.
I see what you did there.
I couldn't help myself. How about A.J. Slaughter? Ball screen, gets the switch, snakes it back. A little French pastry right there. His ability to shoot the three, get to the rim, and make plays for his teammates. A.J. Slaughter has been absolutely phenomenal.
Not only is he outscoring Peoria, he's doubling them up. 17 points for A.J. Slaughter personally. All smiles in that huddle. And you can imagine quite the opposite across the floor inside Peoria's huddle.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing. I mean, these kids are playing. They want to compete. They want to play well. Right now, the team they're playing is more connected offensively, defensively. And we're seeing shots being made. But if you really concentrate and watch what KBC's doing defensively, to me, that's impressive. Ball pressure, downing ball screens, early help, contesting shots, coming back and rebounding the basketball.
Stephen to Foot.
Good offensive play. Little elbow action. This is going to be an elbow isolation for Nick Mayo right here. Boom. They space. They give him an open side, and he goes. Nowitzki.
Same results.
That's just a straight. When they hit elbow, they're going to isolate someone on the elbow. And Mayo at 6'9" is really skilled. Just signed a contract overseas. And that's a bad shot.
Donovan Johnson spears the rebound for KBC. Here comes Slaughter. Nick Mayo too high. Williams back the other way, blocked by Johnson. That's a foul.
The teams we've seen today. Most connected team we've seen so far, or Fort Wayne? Or what's your early evaluation? I ask you questions. I like this. Put you on the spot.
I think Fort Wayne, I would put Fort Wayne's cohesion even a little higher than KBC's right now. KBC
They're bigger
is
and more physical and got probably a deeper front court.
KBC is knocking down its shots. They're red hot right now. But I like what you said about the ball pressure that KBC is putting on Peoria. That's got the all-stars of Peoria all kinds of disorganized.
Yeah, disrupted. The ball pressure disrupts. Got to make your free throws if you're going to get back in this game right here.
0 for 2 that time for Chris Williams.
Same little inside screen. I like that.
Mayo, nifty move.
He is really a good player. Really skilled. And that was a set play. It was the same elbow action, but into an inside screen for the big. Let's see if they run something else. Well, Slaughter's going to get in the lane right here. Don't play with it now.
He got that one to drop through. Right as the horn expires, and with an exclamation mark, KBC leads the Peoria All-Stars by 26. How about a 19-point first quarter for A.J. Slaughter, looking like an early candidate for the All-Region team here in Lexington.
Just take it.
Sure.
Welcome back to Lexington. A.J. Slaughter, he's not been good, he's been great. Can he shoot the three? No doubt about it. Can he put it on the floor? Yes, he can. He has dominated this first quarter, 19 points. Step backs, finger rolls, made plays for others, changes speeds, changes direction. Oh, by the way, he has dominated the first quarter, as has KBC. And now with the addition of Nick Mayo, all of a sudden, that's a dynamic 1-2 punch.
Well, again, with a $2 million prize on the line, every team allocates its winning shares in its own way. And so A.J. Slaughter, $163,000, 636 cents if KBC wins the ultimate prize. Winner of this game moves on to the second round. Winner of this region on Sunday moves to TBT's championship week in Chicago, August 1st through the 6th, with the championship game ultimately coming on August 6th right here on ESPN. Hickey steps back, and Mayo puts it in, but he climbed over the back of Ryan Stefan.
That's the one possession I didn't like, because Hickey came down, he danced with the ball a little bit, had a post up, didn't look in, took a quick shot, Mayo goes to the glass. Don't get seduced by what Slaughter's doing. Do what you've been doing since the start of the game. Move the ball, move people. Slaughter's been terrific, but play to your strengths. See, there's a change of defensive ball screen. On that ball screen, they strung it out with Mayo.
What do you want Peoria to do to get back in this game? Is it paint touches? Is it long range shots?
I think what they've got to get some stops, and then they've got to get better shots. I mean, right now they have a hard time getting the ball reversed. Like that, the ball never got moved. Ball came down the floor. One guy handled it. He patted it. He shouted. You're not going to get back down 26 in one shot. So what do you need to do? Move the ball. Make the defense move side to side. Get a good shot. Get a stop. Get a good shot. Get a good stop. You don't have to settle. More importantly is get the quality of your shot, see the ball go in, and then on the other end defend. Tell you, this has been an interesting day. Gale Force going down.
That's right.
They were a #1 seed, if I'm not mistaken, 1 or 2 seed.
They were a 1 seed and the first one to go down in TBT this year. They lost to the Jackson, Tennessee Underdogs, who have done just that their entire TBT history, knocked off high-seeded teams.
And yet they were an AC.
Yes.
So is that like Virginia losing to UMBC?
Well, I think in the context of TBT, Jackson, Tennessee was on the radar more than UMBC was. Jackson, Tennessee, they knocked off the Bluegrass Boys a couple of years back.
The Bluegrass Boys, not very good. I'm very interested to see what happens tonight with the Bluegrass Boys. I'm predicting the D2 squad. Look at my man Mayo. Great hands, just terrific hands. I'm predicting D2 to beat the Bluegrass Boys. Hey, Big Blue Nation, if you're listening, don't at me.
Ryan Stefan has got 4 points for Peoria. He's actually Peoria's leading scorer right now.
Nick Mayo looks like a player that in 2 or 3 years is going to end up in the NBA. Or he's going to make a lot of money overseas.
Faison puts it back in after the Montel James miss.
Good timeout right there. That's a very good timeout right now. Those guys stop competing. They stop sharing the ball. They stop playing winning basketball. Really good timeout by KBC.
Still a big-time lead for KBC, however, 38-14. As you look inside Willie Williams' huddle. And let's take a listen.
Okay, yeah, make it on the ground, and we'll be up. Right, don't forget the box out. He gave you over back, put your body on it, man. Don't forget we are ice, man. We are ice. Hey, I need an inch on D, man. Come on, man. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep, hey, it's every possession matters. It's defense. We got it. Start and end with defense. Let's go. Compete.
Coach is right. You got to start there with defense because you got to get stops. If you can get some stops and all of a sudden you have good, solid offensive possessions, then you have a chance. KBC is going to run something right here to dictate a shot. They got a little bit out of who they were. Good job defensively. That's a good job of being in the gap defensively.
Montel James finds Michael Bryson. Faison. Right back in the lane. Stefan with 2 hands.
Get a solid defensive possession. Get it inside. Really good job by Faison. You have a story about Faison losing his dad to a heart attack?
Yes, Faison and his family foundation, the Derek Faison Foundation, named after his dad, is one of the causes for which Peoria is playing, as Nick Mayo has got 9 points off the bench. But Jordan Faison number 40 in red for Peoria, lost his dad to cardiac arrest. His dad died in a basketball gym and in all likelihood would have been saved had there been a defibrillator on site. There was not, and so the Derek Faison Foundation focuses on supplying schools and gymnasiums in Southern California with defibrillators. It's an outstanding cause.
So important. That's a good extra pass right there by Nick Mayo, just making a quick reversal pass.
And that's Faison with the rejection of Vic Moses. And an offensive foul. That's one of the great aspects about TBT, don't you think? It's so much more than just a game.
To me, there's so many great causes in the TBT, and there's so many different ways that people are impacting. It's alumni teams, but the teams that have a cause, a purpose, to raise money, sometimes just to raise awareness, and basically also teaching the players that are on those teams that there's something bigger than just basketball. That other people are battling things that are much more important than winning and losing. To me, Sean Marshall, what he's done with Team ALS, honoring his former roommate, Freitas, is just phenomenal. And Sean played for my brother in Turkey, and just an unbelievable young person.
Mayo couldn't handle the lob. Jeffrey White, that was volleyball spiked away by Anthony Hickey. Wilkerson lowers the shoulder. And it drops off. Stefan tries to save it, and he does.
And you can take it off the rim. That ball's bouncing on the rim, knock it away.
FIBA rules here at the TBT. Jeffrey White, mid-range.
See, every time that Peoria gets something going, what happens with KBC, they come up and they run a little set. Here's a ball screen, rescreen. They're going to have to kick out. There it is.
Vic Moses. Rebound to Stefan.
Like when you go down the teams in the TBT, the things that I absolutely love are the alumni teams, the teams with a cause, and then the community teams like these Peoria teams. Watch a big to big double. What do you got to do? Dive to the front of the rim. Nick Mayo late on the weak side help. Really good execution by Peoria. See, if you're going to double the post big to big, you got to get two guys in what we call a weak side eye. One guy in front of the rim, one guy at the nail, which is the spot right in the middle of the foul lane. Any cutter's got to go behind you. If the cutter comes in front of you, that's what happens. You give up a basket. You've got to bump the cutter and force him behind. 20-point game, chipping away.
Chipping away, it was 36-10 after the first quarter. KBC has scored just 5 points in the second.
Slaughter's been out this whole quarter.
Nearly a travel on Lofton, and he gets it back to Slaughter in the corner. Ten to shoot now. Lofton. Wilkerson saves it. And he hooks it right to Montel James of Peoria. James, a former Rambler at Loyola Chicago, turns it right back to Slaughter.
Short.
Jeff White fouled by Hickey. Time for a break. Peoria trying to claw its way back. KBC up by 20.
TBT is taking over Chicago for championship week. 8 teams, single elimination, $2 million, winner take all. August 1st through the 6th at Wintrust Arena. Visit thetournament.com/tickets to secure your seats today.
Championship week in Chicago. It's going to be a blast. Regional round action underway in the opening day of TBT 2019. This is a first round game between the 4-seed KBC and the 5-seed Peoria All-Stars. Winner moves on to the second round tomorrow to take on the 1-seed in this region, Loyalty is Love. They already won today, and their general manager is DeMarcus Cousins. Chris Lofton with his first bucket of the tournament.
Great transition, attack the basket, run to the corner, step up, knock it down. And you know, we saw that promo for the championship. You can't talk about the championship without talking about Overseas Elite.
They are the 4-time defending champions at this tournament. Lofton is heating up. And we've talked about how the level of play has gone up at TBT over the years, and yet Overseas Elite has been able to set the curve every time.
You know what? They got the LeBron James of the TBT.
DJ Kennedy.
DJ Kennedy is the most versatile, toughest, most competitive guy the last 4 years. And they got shot makers. Now they're going to be without Eric McCollum. And Eric McCollum obviously is a guy that has made a lot of big shots for that team. But they've added other players. They've got toughness. They are not afraid of the moment. To me, that's the thing. I've done a number of their games. When the moment comes, they never overreact, whether they're not playing well or they're playing well. Wow, Lofton.
Well, Chris Lofton is on a personal 8-point spree right now. The 2007 SEC Player of the Year at Tennessee.
3-time first-team All-SEC.
A player from Kentucky, from the state of Kentucky, but he was under-recruited. Did not receive offers from Louisville or Kentucky. And the foul goes against Tyler Wilkerson.
And you notice that early in the game, he basically deferred. He got everyone involved. Yeah. He was very unselfish. And then he picked his spot. And that's the sign of a mature winning player. I always say, character and culture wins. And when I watch this KBC team, they've got high character, and it seems like they've got a culture. You watch their bench, you watch how everyone reacts, you watch how they respect each other. They seem like they are a very together team.
Jordan Faison. Jeffrey White hooks a pass to Stephon, who's stripped underneath, and he goes to the line. With Overseas Elite, though, why are they able to play such good team basketball when they don't practice together?
They don't practice. They literally go in about an hour before and walk through a couple things. Why? Because these guys all play overseas. They're hand-selected. They've got extremely, Big Daddy DeAndre Kane, they've got extremely competitive guys. They've got shot makers. You got to have shot makers. And they do one or two things, and they do those one or two things really well.
So what do you have to beat them? Is it size? Is it just outstanding team chemistry? Is it a player like Chris Lofton?
You've got to have toughness first. You've got to be able to guard the basketball. You've got to match their toughness and their physicality. And you've got to be able to contain the ball off the bounce.
There's a tie-up. Jump ball is the call. Possession arrow points to KBC.
How about Lofton? You didn't even know he was on the court in the first quarter.
No.
What does he have now?
11.
He's got 11 in this quarter.
In this quarter.
So basically, Slaughter said, all right, time for me to take a step back. Chris, you take over. And done it easily. I'm talking about easily. I mean, like, the dude's just coming down. Doesn't seem like he's even breaking a sweat.
No.
This is a very good team because Slaughter can shoot it and make plays. Mayo is a very tough matchup. Wilkerson is a guy that rebounds and can isolate on the block. And they're well coached. Big concern for me as I watch it, can they rebound the ball on the defensive end?
You look at a team in this region like Loyalty is Love, with the size that they have. Could a KBC team hang with them on the glass?
You know what? Here's the bigger question. Can Loyalty Love defend them on the perimeter? Get matched up playing those three big guys.
Good point. That's a great point.
And can the ball pressure? I don't think you can ball the Peoria Jackson. The question for Loyalty Love is shot selection, quality of the shots. Because if they take bad shots, these guys are going to push it and make plays. Yeah, now the guards are going to have to come back and rebound. But they're a team that can play with Loyalty Love. There's no doubt about it. And that's just a good play.
13 turnovers for Peoria as we rapidly approach Halftime.
Look at the help. Mayo gets beat, and all of a sudden Hickey's there to help.
And Michael Bryson does the rest. 5 points for Bryson. And
all right, well, now here's the purpose. Remember the end of the first half last game? Everyone shot it quick. People fouled in the backcourt. They're getting the last shot. Up, whatever they're up right now, it makes no difference. They're getting the last shot, 24 points.
24-point lead for KBC. And you know who's taking the last shot too, right? Well, Lofton.
No, I think it could be Lofton. It could be Slaughter.
Yeah, they're both on the floor right now.
Oh, no.
Hickey in trouble. And a jump ball call gives the ball back to Peoria.
That was a shot. Anytime you see two, don't cross half court, back dribble, extend the double team, and then have people come back to the basketball. And right there, Hickey had his head down. What he needed to do is he sees the double before he crosses half court, back dribble, suck that double back, and then throw over the top of it.
Jeffrey White, second chance on top of the backboard, and it wouldn't have counted anyway. KBC erupts with a 36-point first quarter and keeps Peoria at bay until halftime. 52-28, the Kentucky Basketball Commission is in command. We're back, and it's KBC laying the wood on Peoria right now thanks to outstanding guard play. Seth, it was the A.J. Slaughter show in the first quarter.
He was terrific. Shot the three, beat people off the bounce, aggressive in transition, really skilled, finished up the quarter with a little finger roll. And then you know what he did? He passed the baton in the second quarter to Chris Lofton, who was terrific. Started with his jumper in transition, and after that, he just kind of took over. Lofton, Slaughter, a dynamic backcourt.
As you said, you didn't even realize Lofton was on the floor in the first quarter. He was biding his time, setting up his teammates, and then he took over when it was his time.
Yeah, and I think that's really smart. You got two dynamic guards in the backcourt that can make plays and can shoot. They both can't chase shots. And those two guys are complemented by my guy Nick Mayo. That's a very, very talented, skilled three players.
How about Peoria 1 for 13 from three-point range in the first half? What's the one thing that they need to fix first?
They need to fix first. They got to take care of the basketball. They turned it over, and they got to get better shots. You're 1 for 13 for a reason. They never moved the defense side to side. The reason being ball pressure. Ball pressure buys time. The ball pressure of KBC basically dominated Peoria's offense.
Jordan Faison, one of the causes for which this Peoria All-Star team plays. Here are the winning shares sent with Zell, and a very even split between general manager, head coach, and players. By the way, Sheldon Mack is not actually courtside with KBC. He had a conflict with the Players Union. He is a representative for the NBA Players Union. But in line for a $163,000+ payout if KBC can capture that $2 million prize. And Peoria, their breakdown accordingly. Another cool aspect about TBT is that boosters can get involved, supporting their teams, raising money.
Willie, as a GM, Willie wants to get paid.
You know,
he's 2-1. He must have put up all the front money there.
Maybe he did. You know,
Good
GM,
guy.
you got to make some decisions. There's a lot of
pressure.
Responsibility. Yeah,
I understand that. It's like kind of working with you. Got to make. I don't get paid like that.
Wait, I thought you were talking about there's a lot of pressure.
There is a lot of pressure. I understand that.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job answering all my questions.
And vice versa. You've been very good. You passed most of the test. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
The Montag group will appreciate all your brilliance. You might even earn a dinner at Tony's.
I know. Hey, that's what I'm really here for, to be honest with you. The way you've been selling Tony's in Lexington, I mean, I saw the tweet you sent out last night, and it's the go-to place here in town.
I think the TBT should just take us there.
And we'll go on Loyalty is Love's team bus.
Exactly. Or their dime.
Yes, even better. A.J. Slaughter to Vic Moses inside, and a whistle.
Coming out of the halftime, they go with a little two-man game. You're going to see, I would think you would see KBC use their bench a little bit. Now, they got another guy coming tomorrow, right?
They do. I'm glad you brought that up. Matt Howard.
Anything I could do to help.
Matt Howard, the Butler standout, a member of both of Butler's 2 national championship game teams, is on the roster for KBC. He was expected to be here today, but he had a last-minute work conflict and is going to be here tomorrow, provided KBC advances to the second round. Which, the odds of that look pretty good.
And you know what the odds are? Matt Howard gets fouled so much, he probably got fouled, and he's not even here.
What do you mean by that exactly? How is he so good at drawing fouls?
He's got a big body, he plays the contact, he gets angles. He's like the Tyler Hansborough of the Horizon back then. If you looked at Tyler Hansborough wrong and he threw his arms into you, it was automatically your foul. I say our foul, I'm still bitter.
It's recycled out to Chris Lofton. Lofton, high off the window.
How about Lofton? Shoots the 3, then goes a little hesitation and kind of a floater. You got to have little guards have to have a floater today.
And Michael Bryson says, forget the floater, I'll just dunk it.
And Chris Lofton says, you know what? If you don't get back on D, I'll just step in and knock down the 3.
16 points for Lofton, who played this most recent basketball season abroad in South Korea after a very successful career in France. With the steal, the pull-up, and the foul.
That was really good defensive possession right there. KBC is doing a really good job of downing the ball screens, and by downing the ball screens, we could almost telestrate it if they could freeze it on my call. By downing the ball screens, what they're doing is they're not letting the ball get to the middle of the floor. They've been very good at that.
Often a little bit short. Remember when KBC's coaching staff told us how great a shape Chris Lofton is still in physically?
Oh, it's incredible. And he's a cancer survivor.
Yeah. And the circumstances under which he found out he had cancer.
Middle of the season.
And
no one knew but his coaching staff.
Yeah.
And eventually his roommate. Incredible. Talk about putting things in perspective. Cancer-free, doing great, playing at a high level. Great hands by Hickey, good ball pressure. Reese Gaines coaching the KBC team right now. With Shevlin Mack out, former Louisville great.
Well, Anthony Hickey, you mentioned the steals. He led LSU in steals all 3 of his years in the SEC, and then he transferred to Oklahoma State and led the entire conference in steals as a senior.
Relentless defender.
Relentless defender. 280 collegiate steals.
Big part is tracing the ball, putting hand pressures, looking to get deflections. Does a great job of it. Here's another little, that's called an Iverson cut over the top, so why don't we just jump that? He drifted on that one.
Here comes Lawrence Alexander to the trailing Michael Bryson. There was a foul inside, and it goes against Chris Lofton.
Now these guys, if they win, will play at what time tomorrow? They will play the
1 seed, Loyalty is Love. And that game will be either at 4 Eastern or 6 Eastern. I'll have to check the bracket, to be honest with you.
I'll tell you one thing. This place will be hopping.
It is 4 Eastern, by the way. Thank you to our
We're on
producer, David,
we're on
for
4
that.
and 6 tomorrow, right?
Yes. Well, Michael Bryson has had the touch.
Starting to lighten up a little bit.
Sure is. The Big West's leading point per game scorer in 2015-16. Yes, Santa Barbara.
The Gauchos. Used to throw tortillas on the court.
Really? On the court?
After that first basket.
What a waste.
I used to beg for a technical. We had some great games when I was in Long Beach State with the Gauchos. Brian Shaw played for the Gauchos. NBA coach and former NBA player. Jerry Pym was the coach. Had some great battles with the Gauchos. The Thunderdome, if you were wondering. It was before your time.
Is that because it was so loud?
Yeah, the Thunderdome was loud. It was a fun place to play. Watch right this. Look at the block. Wilkerson comes in. Good contest. I guess we should get back to the game when they start showing replays, huh?
That's always a good cue.
I guess America doesn't want to find out about the Gauchos?
I was actually waiting with bated breath because I know you coached some NBA players at Long Beach State.
Lucius Harris, Brian Russell, James Cotton, Joaquin Hawkins, 4 NBA players.
A couple of tournament berths.
Marlon Wiley. Michael Jordan pushed off on Brian Russell.
Off the
miss.
miss.
You were wondering.
Rebound to KBC.
And let's get back to the game now. We educated America on the Big West Conference.
That's great. That's something that needs to happen. Like this Wilkerson 3 that rattles in and out and comes down to Michael Bryson. Bryson trying to get something going for Peoria on offense.
Been very good. Bryson gets to the rim. He finishes. He had that big dunk, knocked down the 3. She's shown really good versatility.
He's got a dozen.
Played the G League in 2017 for the Iowa Wolves. You know who coached the Iowa Wolves at one time?
The current coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves?
No. I'm going to give you one more guess and I'll answer for you. Nick Nurse.
Oh, really? Really? That's right. That's right.
He also coached the London Towers and the Brighton Bears.
I was going to say, I know he was in Canada once upon a time, coaching not in the NBA.
England. He's coached Brighton Bears and the London Towers. You would think they're in England, right?
Yes.
Just word association.
Yeah.
Fairleigh Dickinson, Harvard on the Hackensack. I figured that one out myself.
That's a clever name for a team in London.
Yes.
Much better than the London Bridges. Out on his foot with an air ball. Well, looking around the TBT field today, we have seen some upsets.
Ooh, 1-8, man. 1-8.
There has been a 1 seed that has fallen already today. Gale Force upset by Jackson, Tennessee underdogs. Nick Mayo on our end.
Let me ask you, that was in the Memphis region?
Yes.
So why wasn't Gale Force in the Salt Lake region? Because they were #1 seed?
Perhaps.
No. Gale Force is St. Mary's team, and Gale Nation is the Gale Nation. So I have a man in my ear trying to tell me which Gale team I'm talking about, and I'm having a conversation with America while he's talking to me. Sometimes you just got to straighten your producers out. You know what I mean?
Mayo skips one to Moses and nearly cleans that one up himself. Moses has got it again.
That's a bucket right here, boys. Bucket. Let's go back.
Seth called it. A.J. Slaughter delivered.
When A.J. Slaughter shoots it, you think it's going in.
Yes, it's true.
So we got Gale Nation getting knocked out. Because, you know, the Iona team's going to play Team Fancy, by the way. Very dangerous team.
Okay.
Watch out for Secator Henry, who played for Maccabi Haifa for Brad Greenberg. Delroy James, they'll be in the Syracuse region. I'll be there next weekend.
We've also seen a 2 seed go down in Columbus. Cold-blooded was one and done at the hands of Mid-America United.
No Ethan Happ and no Nigel Hayes.
That's true. They were short-staffed.
But still lost. Goes back to my same thing, TBT. Got to bring it. Got to bring it every day.
Now, even though we get a buzzer beater or a game-winning shot, more accurately, with the Elam ending at every TBT game, the most dramatic Elam ending shot came from Chris Warren of Florida TNT to knock off primetime players in what was perhaps one of the most tightly contested games of the tournament so far.
Chris Warren, Ole Miss, Florida kid, big-time scorer, could beat you off the bounce. He is a very good, talented player.
Midway through the third, KBC is keeping Peoria under wraps. The basketball tournament is presented by Puma Basketball. Day one of TBT 2019. We're in Lexington. Here's what's going on in Columbus. We talked about how cold-blooded the 2 seed has already been upended. They're crying in Madison right now. The Red Scare demolished the region to set up a 3-7 showdown tomorrow. Meanwhile, Big X leads West Virginia as we shift our look to Memphis. And here's where things have really gotten silly, Seth. The 8-1 upset, Jackson, Tennessee over Gale Force. Southern Gentlemen were not very kind to the Broad Street Brawlers.
Love the Southern Gentlemen.
Yes.
You know how the Southern Gentlemen got into the TBT?
They asked politely.
That's pretty good. They actually, they won a tournament that was run by a former NFL player, and they earned their way in to the TBT, which is a very, very cool way to earn your way into the TBT.
Yes. That's off the mark by Aldonis, but there are lots of ways you can get into this tournament, open to anybody. Long rebound, still up for grabs, pulled down by Jeffrey White. Foot behind him, White spins in.
Vic Beasley, who plays for the Falcons, the linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
Purchased the Memphis region, and it was a grand prize for his annual 5-on-5 basketball tournament, and therefore the Southern Gentlemen earned their way in through Vic Beasley and the Atlanta Falcons linebacker. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
That is very cool. Nick Mayo blocking foul on Aldonis' foot. You can buy your way in. You can win your way in.
$12,500.
Yeah, and you can also get votes and accumulate fan votes and get in that way.
I just think the whole concept of pulling people into the tournament.
Yes.
And then having I would say, a betting interest in a lot of ways in the tournament and in a team, and having ownership, having that as your team. To me, that's as good as it gets. You know, and like the region, I mean, they lost, but I mean, they had Brandon Dawson, Nikhil Mitchell played at Virginia. I mean, Jerry Smith who played at Louisville. I mean, they had good players.
And there are some good players on the floor right now. Nick Mayo, the former standout at Eastern Kentucky, he graduated this year, has got 12 points and is one of Seth's favorite players.
Without a doubt, one of my favorite players.
Anthony Hickey.
Really good job. Notice Hickey using his body, shielding the defender off and finishing. Really nice play.
Jordan Faison gets whacked.
Hickey does what Hickey does. He gets involved and makes things happen defensively, digs it out. Great hands, great anticipation, then puts his body on the defender and uses the rim to protect and finish with the layup.
Jordan Faison at the line, a player that we talked about a little bit earlier in the broadcast. His dad, Derek, died at age 36 of cardiac arrest on June 27, 2004. Jordan was there along with his brother. He was only 9 years old at the time. And Jordan is now CPR certified and the treasurer of the Derek Faison Foundation, named after his dad.
That's absolutely an awesome thing. And, you know, this Peoria team, every single kid that's playing on this team is a college graduate, which is, you know, such an important thing. And Jeff White actually was a graduate assistant this past year, and he just earned his master's degree as his assistant coach at Western Illinois, and earned his master's degree. And let's face it, that's what it's all about. Wilkerson's really patient.
No kidding.
It's a great lesson for young post players. Work to the middle and be patient.
His first point since the first quarter. He's got 9. Difficult offensive rebound won by Chris Williams, and he draws the foul. Hickey picks up his 3rd foul. This is game 3 of 4 in the first round of the Lexington Regional. We've got the Bluegrass Boys and D2 as the nightcap. Chris Williams has 6 points, a native of St. Louis. And the Bluegrass Boys are the hosts of this regional. They're the 2 seed. They're a Kentucky alumni team, and you're starting to see more and more blue filter into the stands here at Frederick Douglass High School, which is the newest high school, by the way, here in the Lexington School District.
I like it.
I like it a lot. .00 Eastern, the tentative tip time for Bluegrass Boys against D2. Now, that is an upset waiting to happen.
Oh, I like that you're buying in now.
I'm buying in.
You're buying in.
You do.
I've sold you.
You could sell ice in a snowstorm.
No, I could not, but I mean, I've sold you. I've sold you. D2, I'm telling you one thing. Every single one of those guys except for one is playing professionally overseas. The one guy, we're going to get into him later, he's working in a bank. It took a week off from the bank. They're a group of players basically from Queens University in Charlotte, Lincoln Memorial, but they've got a dude from Shippensburg, they've got a dude from North Dakota State, and they can flat play. One of their assistant coaches, one of my former guards, Carlos Dixon.
Outstanding.
Carlos, a terrific player, made the biggest steal in the history of Virginia Tech in the ACC, because our first win at Virginia Tech was against Clemson. He made a steal that turned the game around, and then made one of the biggest passes in Virginia Tech history. After we lost to Duke by 100, the first time we played them, they came to Castle Coliseum, and Carlos came off a little baseline bump and threw a little pocket pass for a dunk for Coleman Collins, which ended up us beating #1 in the country, Duke. A little history lesson for you.
Great history. Had some good history on this broadcast. Big West, ACC history.
Now you know that they threw the tortillas.
Yes.
I mean, just think about that. If you get a game with Santa Barbara, you can say back in the day, when they scored the first basket, they tossed tortillas. You could say Brian Shaw played there.
And I heard about it from a first-hand source.
I never picked one up and ate one, though. I always wanted to do it.
I'm sure that
walk onto the court. There were like thousands of tortillas on the court.
I'm sure the student section would have loved that.
Yeah. Thanks for pregame meal.
Almost an uncontested look for Darius Jones-Gibson. He does draw the foul.
You know what's important down the stretch in this game?
Stay healthy.
No one gets hurt. No one gets hurt. Get it over with. Peoria guys, I have so much respect for the Peoria organization, Coach Williams, and what he does and how much he cares and how proud he is of his guys.
Yeah.
You know, the city of Peoria has a really rich basketball tradition. Obviously, Bradley has a great fan base and passionate fans, and you know, you really feel good for those kids. And you know, they're outmanned right now, but these kids will continue to play hard and they continue to support each other, and more importantly, they have a program that's committed to doing things the right way in terms of making sure guys get their degrees and are employable and can be successful.
This is Peoria's third straight year in the tournament. They've got 3 tournament wins. A couple of Jamboree wins back in 2017, a play-in win last year. Short shot by Jeffrey White, and the rebound is saved by Peoria. Into face-on, and he was flat out tugged by Nick Mayo, and that's a bucket and a foul.
Face-on's been very good. Very good. The great thing about the tournament, you think about this, you've got your alumni teams. You've got teams with a cause. You've got teams that are representing a community. You've got former NBA players like James Michael McAdoo, who won a NBA championship. You got guys like Earl Barron, who won an NBA championship. You got guys like, you know, the Syracuse Bayheim's Army guys that they go and they practice for a full week. Did my Mayo just dunk on someone?
Yeah. Alley-oop.
How about Nick Mayo? He did it in the summer league. He's doing it in the TBT. Dribble penetration, get behind the defense. Thank you very much. KBC looking good.
You'll see some of the most original and colorful TBT uniforms this tournament, so be sure to check them all out over at tbtgear.com and treat yourself to some great-looking TBT apparel. Puma does such an outstanding job on the gear and the apparel.
I got a KBC t-shirt.
That's right. Well, you get everything for free.
Life is good.
Man.
How about my man Nick Mayo? He was absolutely terrific in the summer league for Miami Heat. Kiefer Sykes, who will be here tomorrow for Loyalty is Love, who can really make buckets. Jay Shante, Chiz Alston, Brandon Gilbrecht. And I'll tell you what, I mean, they had Kennedy Meeks, who played for the CP3 team. John Elmore played in the summer league. I mean, so many of the guys in the TBT have a game that translates and has been given an opportunity not only here to play on this stage, but also in the summer league. And that is a really good thing. And the summer league is taken off. And the great thing about the summer league is the summer league leads into the TBT. Basketball never stops.
I know there's a $2 million prize on the line here, but if you were in the NBA Summer League this year, what's the incentive for playing in a tournament like this?
I think, well, if you're playing on an alumni team, you're playing with your former teammates, and you had that shared experience. If you're playing on a team that has a cause, you got a greater being. And look, I mean, it's an opportunity, more opportunity for exposure. Look, if you love the game and you're lost in the game, and you have a chance to play competitive basketball, you do it. It's almost like when Zion Williamson, people say, well, he wasn't going to play after his injury. That dude's lost in the game. He was going to play. Now he's got to get himself in shape because he was in horrendous shape in the summer league, and that's why they held him out, because if you're not in shape, there are two things that can happen. One, you can't improve, and number two is you have a great chance to be hurt.
Yeah, good point.
And that was the prudent move.
Nick Mayo does it again.
Nick Mayo's a bad man.
No fear.
He just plays hard. Big body, skilled. He's one of the great players to ever come out of Maine. I wonder what high school he went to. Joe Harrington, my boss at Long Beach State, was in the Maine Hall of Fame. Another thing that you need to know. And he's from Morse High School, which was a very, very tradition-rich basketball school in the state of Maine. You're looking it up right now, aren't you? You're unbelievable.
He went to Messalonsky High School in Oakland, Maine.
All right. It's obviously not Morse.
No.
I'm happy you had to pronounce that. You sure it's pronounced correctly?
I'm very certain.
Very certain. That's good. Nick Mayo following up the drive. Really good job. Look, he doesn't quit the play. Look where he comes from. You know, there are certain things I call range. You have defensive range. What kind of range can you have where you could help on a drive, then recover to a shooter? And then you got rebound range. Rebound range is how many balls can you rebound outside your area. That was rebound range going to the offensive glass.
Jeffrey White has put together a pretty good second half. It might be too little too late for Peoria, however, down by 25.
You think?
Well,
I'll tell you one thing, that's good analysis.
It ain't over till it's over.
That's true. Elam ending it over in about 3 minutes. All right, from the game earlier, it's another quiz. What did we learn about the Elam ending?
Don't settle for threes.
Yeah, if you get close to the finish and you got 3 points to end the game, you don't have to shoot a three. Go get a bucket. Get to the foul line.
Michael Bryson at the free throw line. What Seth was referring to is specifically Loyalty is Love at a sizable lead over the Hoopville Warriors. They needed 3 points to get to the target score in the Elam ending and wanted to end the game on one possession. as opposed to pounding it inside and getting a much more easier two-point shot. And so the game stalled for a moment, and Hoopville actually made it a little bit interesting, while Loyalty is Love settled for long-range three-pointers. And as soon as they listened to Seth and dropped the ball inside for an easy Willie Reed dunk,
smart people usually do.
Yeah.
By the way, the security and the hospitality here has been absolutely terrific. You're going to see, you probably can't see now, maybe we'll get a dead ball. Slaughter, that'll go in. You got all these gentlemen here in these Kentucky Blue Jackets. Those guys work all the games at Rupp. They're terrific people. And there's one of our Blue Jackets, right? And they are the most genuine and nicest and most polite people in the world. And every time Southern gentlemen, every time we go to Rupp, those guys always with a smile, always helpful, always just genuinely love the game, love Kentucky, love ball, and are great around people. And we're very fortunate to have the Blue Jackets here taking care of the TBT.
You got to get a jacket like that in your wardrobe.
If I was, I had a maroon jacket when I was at, that's a bad play, Nick. I had a maroon jacket when I was at Virginia Tech. I wore for the Virginia game.
Jeffrey White, coast to coast after the Nick Mayo turnover. A dozen for the former Loyola Chicago Rambler. And
never
now
had
graduate
the gold
assistant.
jacket at Long Beach State. Never won the gold jacket.
Really? Well, that would have been a slam dunk.
And you're a graduate of where?
Wisconsin.
You have a red jacket?
I do not. It doesn't look good on television.
I think maybe you should get one.
A red jacket.
I think you could pull it off. You, Andy Katz, two of the great Badger graduates in journalism.
Thank you. I'm very flattered. There are lots of them, though. Maybe a red plaid jacket.
Yeah, that'd be big.
That'd be big. Jeffrey White is going on a scoring spree right now. 14 points for White, and he forces KBC to call a timeout.
Good timeout. Yeah, 2 minutes to go to the Elam ending. Guys, let's get a good shot. Let's get serious the next 2 minutes, and then let's get this thing over with.
With a timeout on the floor, we remind you that TBT is stocked full of players with NBA experience, over 70 to be exact. And here is but a handful. A lot of them are in our regional. We've seen Trey McKinney-Jones.
Terrific. Travis Leslie was terrific this morning. Had a great second half. Darius Johnson-Odom, he was really good. Quincy Miller, Daniel Orton, Willie Reed. Of those guys right there in this region, who were you most impressed with? Wayne Turner's coaching.
I was really impressed with, honestly, I was really impressed with Darius Johnson-Odom, and I was really impressed with Trey McKinney-Jones.
You passed that test. Trey McKinney-Jones is the adult in the room. He never gets flustered. He's always on balance. He always makes the right play. He makes open shots. He's poised. He has leadership skills. I mean, all those guys were impressive. I mean, Travis Leslie was really good in the second half.
He was excellent.
But, I mean, Trey McKinney-Jones has that's a bad turnover, has a poise about him. But that's just in our region.
I know.
I mean, so as you go through the TBT, I mean, you're talking probably 50 NBA players. It's pretty impressive.
And then when you factor in NBA players who are also coaches and general managers, you get over 70 in the whole tournament. Face-on goes to the foul line for Peoria.
What Peoria's doing is they're going to the basket, stopping the clock, scoring in a way to get back in the game before the evening ended.
4 fouls on Tyler Wilkerson, too, by the way. You need 6 before you foul out, not 5.
You really don't need fouls.
No, you don't.
Get 6.
That was poor word choice.
Just making sure you keep it tight. You know, I went to Harvard on the Hackensack, so we got to make sure you Wisconsin, you hotty-totty Wisconsin guys, you know, keep it buttoned down.
Thank you.
I'm surprised that, you know, a guy from the Montag group didn't just have to graduate from Syracuse.
I know, right? I bucked the system. So what do they call Fairleigh Dickinson? The Harvard on the Hackensack?
Harvard on the Hackensack. Good extra pass. Boom. Bucket. Oh, don't foul.
We're working with a lot of Butler Bulldogs on this broadcast as well. The Harvard of the Midwest. Jordan Faison with the slam dunk. And we hope to see Butler Bulldog Matt Howard lace him up for Team KBC tomorrow in KBC's second round.
We've got a frantic comeback going on here. That could have been a foul, too. That's a late call.
Chris Williams to the foul line.
Closest it's been since when? Game started?
Just about.
I love the Peoria team because Willie's got these guys playing hard. It's great. They haven't quit. They've been good teammates to each other. They've been supportive of each other. They're playing with a purpose. I mean, it's terrific. Now, yeah, obviously, KBC has lost their focus a little bit, but all the credit to the Peoria kids.
KBC came out like a slingshot to start this game. You blinked your eyes, and it was 36-10 at the end of the first quarter.
GM Bowers right now is a little bit uptight.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's not over until it's over.
Yeah, you were right. I was wrong. My bad, as the kids would say. Notorious BERG, as I've been known with my man Jay Will. Mistake. Now we're going forward. They don't have to full court press. They're going to try to speed them up. Just get a bucket here and then get to the Elam ending. Chris Lofton will play with really good pace in his possession.
He's trying to snap a 10-0 run for Peoria.
Ball never moved off of his hands.
Not good.
The ball never moved. One guy had it. Oh, my God, that could have been a 4-point play.
It's a 2-point play after...
And they will get to the Elam ending right now.
Montel James was not boxed out.
All right, KBC have come back to the ball. One more pass.
Batted ball.
That's going to be a 10-second call.
10-second call.
They won't get to the Elam ending. Wow. What do you think? It's not over till it's over.
It sure isn't. This is, as Seth was mentioning, as close as it's been since basically the beginning of the game.
You don't want to call timeout here, though.
Well, it's not like the Elam ending is going to go into effect because we're not at or under 4 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, like, I don't know how many timeouts they have left remaining, but you want to save that for as soon as you get the basketball.
Well, you get 4 timeouts.
You get 3 30s and a 60.
They just gave an indication. That's what General Manager Tom Bauer was asking a moment ago, how many timeouts Peoria had left. And so they're down to 1 now.
KBC's got 2 left. All right, so they're fine. How about the next game? What do you think? You fired up for that? I am fired up for the next game.
I'm really fired up for him. As you said, I'm bought into your theory.
Is Derek Wells going to play for the Bluegrass boys?
I don't think he was supposed to, and there was a rumor that Josh Harrelson might not play either, which would really leave them short-handed.
Josh did a concert for the McDonald's house here in Lexington. He's a concert pianist, very talented musician.
Closing in on the Elam ending portion of this game. Here's Montel James on Nick Mayo. Good defense by Mayo. 3 to shoot. Alexander off the side of the backboard.
There they got it.
And now it's KBC who calls the timeout to bring the Elam ending into effect. We'll tell you a little bit more about the particulars of the Elam ending. The target score as a teaser is 94. Stick with us. The basketball tournament is presented by Puma Basketball. All right, it is Elam ending time. That means the game clock has been turned off because we have reached the first dead ball with under 4 minutes to play. As we teased, a target score has been set, which is equivalent to the leading team's score plus 8 points. KBC is in the lead. They have 86 points. Tack on 8, and you have 94 for a target score. So the first team to 94 wins this first round game of TBT 2019 and moves on to the second round tomorrow, where they take on the 1 seed in this region. Loyalty is Love, who knocked off the 8 seed Hoopfield Warriors earlier today.
I thought right now Peoria is really digging in defensively. They've done a really good job of pressuring the ball, keeping the ball in front, and basically taking KBC out of any flow.
If you're just joining us, it might look like KBC is in the driver's seat, but it's Peoria who trailed by as many as 26 points in this game that suddenly is now down 12 and probably believes they're in this game more than they have at any other point in this contest.
They've just been really good defensively. They're making it hard to catch the ball in the wing. Look how much time, all of a sudden, 12 seconds to get into any type of offensive flow.
Nick Mayo in the corner. Rebound will go to KBC after a foul on Jeffrey White.
It's only their second foul.
Correction, Michael Bryson.
Right now, as opposed to loyalty is love, KBC's not aggressive enough. I mean, like, they're pressuring you, create some space and attack the ball off the bounce. Like right now, it's all space. Don't bring two guys together. Nice play right there. Like right now, if people pressure you, deny entry passes, then you've got to create a little bit of false motion and drive the ball and get paint touches.
Bryson
He's
with
been
the
terrific.
finish.
I'll tell you what, he's been really good. 6 to go. Don't settle for a 3. Get some spacing. Don't have the ball screen, and then make a play. See it right now.
KBC needs 5, and they threw it away.
They're slow getting into their offense, and they're reacting to the defense.
KBC needs 6.
The flow and the aggressiveness that KBC played with early, they got to be a little more freed up and attack. Don't have to. Everything doesn't have to be a ball screen. Push up, go under, and they're getting to the rim again. It's another layup.
Montel James.
Look at the body language right now. Now Slaughter and Chris Lofton and Mayo have got to take this here. It's a quick double.
Late whistle, but a good call.
They're running a second defender on any ball handlers and basically taking KBC and getting them to react to them. Watch balls coming to half court. What are they doing? They run a second defender at them. That is a reach. That's a foul. But you notice all of a sudden now KBC is reacting to the defense as opposed to defense reacting to them. Don't bring another guy. Bad spacing right there. There you go. Rescreen it and get out of the way.
Blocked shot. Hickey's got it.
They're very forward. That's short.
Rebound pulled down by Lawrence Alexander
And they're
Jr.
not getting any stops, so they're not getting anything in the open court.
Missed layup and a foul for the rebound.
You see, if you're right now, they're going to be in the bonus right now. If you're KBC, get a stop so you can get out in transition, advantage, disadvantage. If you don't get a stop, then all of a sudden you're playing against the set defense. 94. Basically, still a 16-point game for
Yes.
Peoria.
And a big missed free throw by Montel James.
But here's the thing. They right now, KBC is not aggressive enough. The ball's getting stuck, and they're not, and defensively they have not been very good. So they're giving up baskets, so they're, right now, once again, reacting.
I think you can make the argument that after the first quarter, KBC has not been aggressive enough.
That's a
foul.
bad foul right there. Because that was a settle right there.
Third foul on Michael Bryson.
A little buzz going on in here. People are frisky in here right now. This is the great thing about the Elam ending, is that, you know what? You got to get to 8. And how do you get to 8? Like loyalty and love, they settle for 3s. All right? KBC, they basically got 2 passes. You've got to find that spot where you're going to be aggressive, all right, but you're going to take good shots.
That's a huge turn of events in the Elam ending.
Right there. That was huge.
It gives A.J. Slaughter 31 points.
That's good.
It's okay.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, yeah.
See, they're down in that ball screen better. That's really good help by Locke. And watch the rotation by Mayo.
Michael Bryson has been the MVP scoring-wise for Peoria in this game. He's got 24 points.
All right. This is good, better, best. You give up a good shot to get a better shot to get the best shot. Drag 2, 1 pass, short roll. With the short roll comes, he becomes a playmaker. Really good pass. Get it to Bryson, who's been hot all second half. That's really good basketball. On a short roll when you blitz, when you're down the ball screen, that short roller basically becomes a point guard. And what I mean by short roller, let's let Coach get into this first.
1 to 2 dribble. You're going. You've got to go. Trust. You got to stay committed. Get on that rope. Hold that freaking rope. It ain't over. All right? We get, couple turnovers, couple buckets. The hardest 3 points I've ever scored in the goddamn luck. You hear me? They ain't getting it. We stay aggressive. Everything's downhill on offense. We attack. They're either going to let you go and you're going to get an easy score, maybe a kick out. All right? And you're going to the line. Let's go to the board. Downhill on everything. Let's go. Hey, brother.
That was really good.
It was great.
Really good. But basically, Coach is basically saying on the second dribble around half court, they're going to trap the basketball. They're going to make KBC react to them, and offensively, exactly what they've been doing. Play downhill. Get to the basket. Get to the basket. If the defense collapse, kick out, we got an open 3. Really good timeout right there by Peoria.
Game clock is off. KBC leads 91-82 in the 4-5 matchup of the Lexington Regional. Single elimination,
now watch,
win or go home.
Watch as the ball comes to half court. Here it comes.
There's the trap.
And
Nick Mayo's got it. Back to Slaughter.
That's
Deep 3 for the win. Yes!
Wow. Wow.
It caps a 34-point night for A.J. Slaughter, who starred in Bowling Green, Kentucky at Western Kentucky University and comes up to Lexington for TBT and nails this game-winning shot to officially move KBC into the second round against the 1 seed. Loyalty is love, and there will be a lot of Kentucky flair in that matchup. Loyalty is love, remember, is managed by DeMarcus Cousins.
How cool was that, the Peoria team, and how hard they played and how they continued to compete. All the credit to those kids and their coaching staff and how passionate they were and how prideful they were.
It was down 36-10 to Seth's point, and Peoria never once gave up on this game. But the placard goes to the tandem of Chris Lofton and A.J. Slaughter, the 2 stars for KBC, led in particular by Slaughter's 34 points. And in accordance with the TBT tradition, they move their name card to the next slot on the TBT bracket. Here's the bracket on our end. The 1-4 matchup is set. Fort Wayne awaits the winner of our final first-round game of the night, the Bluegrass Boys versus D2. And Seth, we haven't seen an upset yet. Maybe it comes in approximately 10 minutes.
7-2. Do not discount D2. D2, every single guy except one is playing professionally. That guy who isn't works in a bank. Logan Doyle played at North Dakota State. 6'9", can pass it and shoot it. They've scouted the Bluegrass Boys. They know that they're going to play it and do a lot of things that Kentucky did defensively. Stick around. It's going to be a great one.
Bluegrass Boys are the Kentucky alumni team against a roster composed all of D2 former college basketball players. KBC gets the job done, a team that lives to fight another day at the Basketball Tournament 2019.